you break magic sleeping spells, dodge dragons, and juggle with jesters?
It's like jumping into a fairy tale and all part of one of the best board games for kids.
Let's learn how to play Sleeping Queens!
Welcome to How to Play by We Play to Learn. I'm Mikkel.
And I'm Brace. Today we'll teach you one of our favorite kids games, Sleeping Queens.
And make sure to stay till the end. We're going to share the best ways to customize the rules and make this great game even better.
If you're new here, we love teaching fun family games. So hit the subscribe button and click that bell to get notified when new videos are released.
First, let's learn a little more about Sleeping Queens, the 10th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. This card game can be played with 2 to 5 players, game time is 10 to 20 minutes, and it is best for kids 3 to 10 years old. And it can be a fun way to practice counting in addition.
It also gives our highest score for younger kids a full 10 out of 10. Older kids and parents probably won't play it by themselves, but they will still have fun playing it with younger kids. Because of that, we give it a 9 for our family rating.
You can find more details in our full review at weplaytolearn.com, linked in the description below. But right now, let's jump in and find out how to play. Sleeping Queens is a competitive game where the winner is the first person to have 5 queens in a 2 to 3 player game, or 4 queens in a game with 4 to 5 players. There are also points shown on each queen card. A player can win by collecting queens worth a total of 50 points in a 2 to 3 player game or 40 points in a 4 to 5 player game.
But for younger kids, we like to just use the number of queens to decide the winner. Setup is really easy for this game. Separate the green-backed queen cards from the action cards and shuffle each deck separately. Then lay out the queen cards face down in the center of the playing area. Deal 5 action cards to each player. The rest go in a face-down stack to make the draw pile. Make sure to leave a space next to the draw pile for a discard pile as well. The official rules say players should keep all their action cards hidden from other players. But we like to customize this rule for kids that need help with addition. We put action cards with a number on them face up in front of us and the rest stay hidden. And just like that, setup is complete.
So how do we play the game? First, we'll teach you about the general rules used for every turn. Then we'll talk about the action cards and the fun things they do. And we'll finish with the special powers that some of the queens have.
The basic rules of the game are pretty simple. Pick a player to go first, then turn order will always go clockwise around the table. On your turn, do an action using the action cards in your hand. Then take cards from the draw pile so you have 5 action cards in your hand again. If the draw pile ever runs out of cards, reshuffle the discard pile to start a new draw pile.
Now, let's look at the actions that make the game so popular. There are 5 different actions you might be able to do on your turn. These are play a king, play a knight, play a sleeping potion, play a jester, or discard. The first of these, the king, lets you wake up one of the sleeping queens. If you look on the back of the face-down queen card, you will see a bunch of Z's showing they are asleep. When you play a king, place the king card on the discard pile, select one of the sleeping queens, and place her face up in front of you. Your turn is done, and you'll draw 1 new action card, so you have 5 again.
The knight card is played like the king, but instead of waking a queen, you get to steal a queen from another player. But watch out! If the player you are stealing from has a dragon action card, they can immediately play it to stop you from stealing their queen. The sleeping potion card is also played against another player's queen, but instead of stealing it, the queen is put back to sleep by placing it face down with the other sleeping queens. And just like the dragon, a wand card can be played to stop the sleeping potion. If you use a dragon or a wand to stop another player, put that card into the discard pile and then take a new card from the draw pile even though it wasn't your turn. Next is the jester, and he's a wacky one. When playing a jester, discard it and take the top card of the draw pile. If that card is not a number card, keep it and take another turn right away. But if it is a number card, keep the number card and, starting with yourself, count clockwise around the table. Stop counting when you reach the number shown on the card. That player gets to wake any of the sleeping queens and keep it for themselves. This could mean someone else gets a queen on your turn.
The last action, discard, lets you trade for new cards. This is the only way to use the number action cards. There are 3 ways to discard. Number 1, discard 1 action card and draw 1 new card. You can discard any action card you want, including dragons and wands. Number 2, discard 2 cards of the same number and draw 2 cards. Or number 3, discard 3 or more number cards that make an addition equation and draw the same number of cards to replace them. Here's an example. You could discard a 2, 3, and 5 because 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then you would draw 3 new cards and your turn would be over.
Now we get to talk about the special powers that some of the queens have. There are 4 queens that have special powers, and they all have a star around the number on their card, so you don't forget. The first time someone wakes the Rose Queen, that player also gets to wake a second queen and keep them both. But if the Rose Queen is put back to sleep with a sleeping potion, her power cannot be used again that game. The Dog and Cat Queens share a power. No player can have them both because they would fight like cats and dogs. So if you already have one of them and wake the other one, you have to put your new one back to sleep and your turn is done. The last queen with a special power is the Strawberry Queen, and this is the most special power of all. She cannot be stolen by knights or slept by sleeping potions.
Speaking of the Strawberry Queen, be sure to read the cute little story at the end of the instructions about the 8-year-old inventor of this game. We promised at the start of the video to share some custom rules that can make this game even better. The first of these we've already mentioned. Play with number cards face up for younger players to help them with their addition. With this minor change, even our 3-year-old can play with this. Our second and third custom rules add some new options for the number cards. These make the game more interesting for older kids and adults. As the rules are currently written, they imply 2, 3, or 4 cards can be added to equal the value of one other card. Custom rule number 2 allows addition to be used on both sides of the equation. For example, a player with 1, 3, 4, and 6 can now discard them all by using the equation 1 plus 6 equals 3 plus 4. Custom rule number 3 is similar and lets you use pairs or triples as part of the math equation. An example of this would be a player with 3, 4, 7, and 7. All cards could be discarded using the equation 3 plus 4 equals 7 equals 7.
Don't worry if you forget some of our custom rules when you go to play the game. They are all included in the full review on our website. That review is linked in the description below. It also lists similar games and answers a bunch of helpful questions.
And make sure to check out our reviews page where you can find ideas for other great games. There you'll find a list you can sort using 10 different categories, including our age-based rating, number of players, and more.
So check us out at WePlayToLearn.com or jump into another of our How to Play videos here. We'll see you next time on How to Play by We Play to Learn. Bye! Bye.